Why, it's me. I will convince He-Man to let me into Castle Grayskull. Once there, I will steal the source of He-Man's power. The secrets of Grayskull. I wish to see the inside of Castle Grayskull.
What?
I've heard so much about it, I'd love to see it with my own eyes.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hanger. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the top 12 figures that we need still in the Origins line. So with this, I made a video about 9 months ago, and all but 5 were satisfied already in 9 months. So some of those figures, those 5 figures, carried over to this list, and we got some new ones on there. Now I did take a poll, or more or less just randomly asked people, what do you think we still need in Origins? And I spent the last week tallying up those votes and comments. With a week worth of my own tallying by hand, of course I got the results that I want, so I'm going to share this list with you coming up. Before we get into this list, I want to say that we need to reissue the Coldar. We need another Coldar up there. First of all, I didn't even know who this character was. So then I went and watched the show, and then I kind of won it. The problem is I was there. I had 3 in my cart. I was about to check out, and then my son wanders by. I'm like, hey, do you want this guy? He's like, heck yeah, that's cool. I want one. So I added another one to my cart. Then I went to check out, and then they were sold out. So I could have had my 3 like usual, but I wanted to bring my son in on it, you know. So now I'm kind of screwed. But anyway, I'd like to get this. If not, you know, I'll just do without. Number 12 on the list is Too Bad. Carryover from the previous list. But I got to say, they've already announced it for the Masterverse. And for that, I'm pretty sure it's going to come in Origins. Maybe I missed the Origins announcement, but I did search a random Google search to see if there was anything on Google or any of the places I order for each of these that are on this list. And I didn't see it. So I still think that Too Bad's coming for Origins, but we still need it, so it's pretty cool. And I do like the Masterverse look, and I can't wait to get it in and compare it to Classics. Next up on the list is Extendar. Now this is one that was on the past list too, and so one of the things that I didn't really say, or maybe I did say in the last video, that everything on the list I thought we would not get, I went out and found locally like $5. $5 a figure. Literally still finding vintage figures for $5 locally, so that was a pretty fun deal. I have this. But here's the thing. When we saw what's going to happen with Mecha-Neck, and it's like neck attachments, the way Classics treated this was arm, leg, and waist, and neck attachments. I bet you they go the same route, and it's a deluxe, because all the extra parts. But I bet you they go that route if they make this figure, when they make this figure. And so with that, I'm kind of okay with it because I have a vintage one and it likes to flop down, the legs flop down, you know, the arms are okay, but the neck and the legs and the waist, they flop down, so those components make it more stable. Next up, we're talking about a Spikor on the list here, number 10, and I have a vintage one too, as I sought this one out, $5, and it's kind of funny, and I randomly ended up with this weapon and accessory for free in a lot that I got. So with this, I do think this is a cool looking figure, and I'm curious how they go about this. I bet you do not have an eject because you have an elbow. So that piece won't eject out of there because of an elbow and all that kind of stuff. So it will be an add-on piece too. So with that, that's my belief if they make it or when they make it. But Spikor is pretty cool. We already pretty much got them in the Masterverse line, and so it almost guarantees an Origins, right? Number 9 is Cyclone on this list, and the thing is that it's another carryover and another one that I had to pick up because I just didn't think they were gonna make them. But it's kind of fun that, as you see, almost everyone on this list they haven't made yet has some sort of a gimmick that they're not going to put in the modern version. So it's kind of fun to have the vintage counterpart just to see what it does. I mean, if you, like me, $5 on this guy, and to see that he spins around and all that kind of stuff, that's kind of cool. So with that, Cyclone, we do need him. He probably won't spin around. Maybe they'll do something special, but I'm curious what the chest sticker will look like. Number 8 on the list is Modulogs, which I believe is going to be a deluxe figure, and I don't know much about this. I don't have one. I've kind of looked into it, but I haven't bought one yet. But I might get one because it is pretty cool overall. I do kind of like this figure, but I know you're going to get elbow articulation, knee articulation that you didn't have with this one. And would you be able to put like 6 Modulogs together? and make like a Modulog train and all that kind of stuff. Again, I don't know because I don't have this figure. I don't know how it works, but I think that's how it works. I think you can just build it as long as you want, centipede kind of thing. So anyway, Modulog probably going to be a deluxe. Now in the new figures, I mean, let's be realist here. They've already got the mold. They've already got the hype. Kecklar, order as many as you want for 48 hours. I'll probably order 3 because that's what I usually do. And Kecklar in multiple different colors. All the different colors of Eldar. I don't know what colors there are. Red, purple, green, blue. Well, we've got the blue here. Orange, yellow. I don't know. But I'm down with pretty much every color they make. I think it's a really cool figure. Probably one of the coolest figures they've made. And I'm probably in the minority. A lot of people act like they really don't care. Kecklar. So next up on the list, we have number 6. So this would be the Laser Power He-Man and the corresponding Skeletor at the time. I kind of think we need this. Would be nice. They would need to include the gimmick, though. Like, it's worthless without the gimmick. You can't call it Laser Power without the light up gimmick, which I think is kind of the reason why they haven't tackled it just yet or announced it or any of that kind of stuff. But it would be kind of cool. It'll definitely be a Mattel Creations kind of thing. Definitely carry a premium. I mean, hopefully not stupid crazy like the $150 4-pack. So that would be $75 for these 2 figures. That's too much. I think $50 for the pair is probably where it should go. I mean, even though $30 is nicer, but probably be $40 or $50 for the pair. Still, it looks pretty cool. It's one of those obscure things that the average collector would never get, so they need to make it. Okay, so number 5 on my list. This is a request from a lot of people. I've been hearing a lot of stuff from people about getting more Shira figures, which in the Origins line, I don't know how deep they're going to go. And so this is kind of where I'm split on if they make it, I'll probably buy it. I mean, obviously I'm going to buy it. But I think what they're doing in the Masterverse is good enough, and maybe just dialing out a shelf of that. I don't know if I care enough to do every Shira figure ever made. So I don't know if they should go deep on that or not. But a lot of people feel like they should, and it'd be upgraded and all this kind of stuff. So I do kind of like the way they went with the modern Shira. So the other one, like Catra and the expensive ones. Someone said Bow and Glimmer. Those kinds. I don't know much about this, but I'm willing to learn. There's also people requesting a Crystal Castle, which would be cool if they make a Crystal Castle, but I don't know if it's something that a lot of people will be in on. I mean, Snake Mountain obviously is going to be popular, not as popular as Grayskull, but this would be even less popular than the Snake Mountain, so who knows? Next up is Evil Seed, number 4. And so this is one that I've seen it around. I don't know much about it. I looked it up. They made a whole episode about this guy and just kind of how these vines, weeds, or whatever grew wild. And here's this dude. There's 2 different versions I see out there. The Classics made a different version of Evil Seed, but the one on the left is the one that Super 7, I believe it was Super 7 that made that one. So anyway, I'm getting interested in making figures that we never saw before. I think a lot of people want to relive their vintage, but getting new figures, new characters is kind of fun overall. So Evil Seed number 4, people have been asking for it. Maybe we'll get it. So number 3 on the list is Skeletor's Hover Robots, and so this I would think would be packed as a 3-pack or a 5-pack or something along those lines. So they did make them in the Classics era, and they do look pretty cool, and this is something that is very interesting. It's always sort of been interesting to me, too. I mean, I've seen them in the vintage cartoon, in the original cartoon series, and so with that, definitely should be on the list somewhere in there in Origins. I don't know how they do it, how they'd pack it, how they'd work it out, but I'd buy it. Number 2 on the list is Cringer. Now, here's the thing. We've got a Battle Cat. We've got a bigger Battle Cat. We got a Battle Cat that doesn't look like Cringer. So the thing about this is we need a whole figure for Cringer. They did it in Classics, and I'm not going to tip my hand here, but I know how you got Cringer. So the thing is, why not make a Cringer? They've already wiped the Origins Battle Cat from retail. Now it's showing back up at discounters such as Ollie's for $20, more than their $7 clearance price at Walmart's and stuff, and Targets and all those places. But Cringer itself would be smaller. You could almost put him on a standard card bag, make him small enough, make him articulated enough that he's articulated in there cringing in the package, so that would work out too. You know that he grows bigger when he becomes Battle Cat, all that kind of stuff. But Cringer is one of those that everybody would want. Every Motu fan would want a Cringer because it's not the same as Battle Cat. And speaking of that, do we need a skinny Adam? Do we need a skinny Adam? Who knows? Okay, skinny, scrawny Adam. A lot of people say a scrawny Adam makes more sense. Anyway, so getting into number 1, Queen Marlena by a mile. We definitely need her. I don't know how I missed her on my last list, but she's definitely on there now because of multitude of people. Just an ocean of people, a tidal wave of people saying that they want a Queen Marlena, and I agree. Collecting some of these classics and all that kind of stuff. She was an exclusive that included the Cringer, which is kind of strange. I wasn't part of the classics era, so all the stuff I'm learning secondhand, and it's kind of fun to kind of learn historically what happened back then. And maybe it repeats itself, maybe it rhymes, because we do need a Cringer and we do need a Marlena. And they also talk about getting the astronaut suit and her gown. Of course, I care more about the gown than the astronaut suit, but you know, to each their own. Maybe she will be a deluxe and have all that kind of stuff. Even a deluxe at a $23 price point, she's definitely worth it, and I'd be on board. Now we're getting into a bonus round. So people ask for an attack track that looks like the one we saw in the cartoon. And so with this, I'm thinking, I never really put 2 and 2 together because I didn't have an attack track as a kid. So it just really didn't dawn on me how completely different they were. But I was familiar with what I saw in the store and what I saw on the show. And I still didn't put 2 and 2 together as a kid. I guess I was a dumb kid at the time. But looking at this, here's what sort of makes sense. It looks like we got the attack track inside the attack track. It looks like attack track brought out another attack track. I don't know a whole lot about how that's supposed to work, but still it should have been blue, right? So it still should have been blue, and it should have been inside of some other vehicle. So who knows what they do with an attack track, but even if they gave us an attack track, they gave us 2 options, the red or the blue, or something along those lines. Attack track is very cool. People are saying there's no chance they put a motor in it, though. So, I mean, of course, that's expensive. It would raise the cost and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I have a vintage one, and it's cool, but the vintage one's a bit glitchy. If you have a vintage one that still works and all that kind of stuff. But attack track, definitely cool. Fan favorite, very popular. And the other one we talk about is the Battle Ram. Here's the thing. We got the Sky Sled with Adam, and I don't know if that was sort of a precursor to them making this, or them just like, we're not going to make that. We're just not going to bother with the other half of this vehicle. But, you know, I had this as a kid, and it did seem kind of strange that we didn't get the other half of the vehicle. And it's weird. Like, will we not get the other half? Would they sell it as a set? Would they sell just the other half? I mean, at this point, I think it's one of those things that we need, but it looks like they're never going to make it. But we need it. We need it because a whole lot of people have what's already out there in the Sky Sled, and they want to put it with the rest of this. But at the end of the day, we might not get it. Let me know what you think about this Origins list. What else would you like to see in the Origins toy line? I've already asked this in the past, of course, but what else is out there? This kind of generates some food for thought. A lot of people like to think about all this kind of stuff. And so with that, I actually personally like to see some stuff that's never been made before. That's a whole lot of fun. This Kecklar really got me thinking, and so it's kind of exciting. Coldar caught me by surprise, but it won't catch me the second go around. Anyway, like and subscribe, comment below. Hyperion Hanger out.
Welcome to Castle Grayskull, Coldar. Now, what's the first thing you want to see?
You're going to see me disappear.